Well, thank you very much. I think this is the kind of passion we need to show because it's contagious. It's and we certainly hope that this message can come across to everyone, regardless of religion or sect. I'm here today to speak about the position from the Sikh faith when it comes to organ donation. As Professor G had mentioned earlier and also touched upon, it is very similar. It's a community-based religion. It's a religion based on what Sikhism preaches of seva. Seva is selfless service. We talk about volunteerism, and unfortunately in Western society, there's a connotation of volunteerism which means there's a return that we're looking on our investment. We volunteer in certain aspects hoping for gain. When we go through high school, they tell us, volunteer in so-and-so field, so A, you will get the hours, or you will get a reference letter, or you will get a better position, a job. But what seva in Sikhism is, it's that volunteerism without any recognition. Volunteer and serve as if no one is there to recognize of the work that you're doing. And what could be a better example than organ donation? Guru Nanak Patshahi Ji, who's the founder of Sikhism, the establishment of Sikhism at that point, it was on that premise of breaking down barriers and helping the poor, the meek, those who could not assist themselves. So I just, kind of divulge into a bit of the history of the faith so we can grasp an understanding of how this became about. So at a time frame where India was in turmoil, we had a crazy caste system where, the higher or the upper castes were torturous towards the lower caste. That the lower caste wasn't even able to listen to a conversation that fell upon their ears in afraid of the punishment of having hot tar poured down their ears for listening to such conversations, to where women's rights were not respected, to where the concept of satyism was followed, where at the death of the husband, the woman was thrown into the burning fire. So the religion came about to put an end to this because that was not humanity. And so the three essence of Sikhism which is preached is Nam Japana, which is very important, which is meditating upon this transcendental certitude, which we call Vaheguru. Someone may refer to as Allah, or God, or Ram, whoever it may be, Jesus, that you take at least 10% out of your day to kind of touch back to that energy that we feel is the creator of this universe. The other is Kirt Karni, which is working hard or hard working, work for your earnings. So that's very important. So there's no room for laziness. Guru Nanak Patshahi Ji, the founder himself, was a farmer. And he worked on the fields for several years of his life to showcase that. And last, and truly important, is this concept of donation or Vandke Shakna, sharing your hard earnings. As Professor G mentioned, it is also in Sikhism with Tan, Man, Ate Tan, di seva. So let me start with Tan, with earnings, so revenue, income, whatever we earn that we give to the poor. And that's a very important concept in Sikhism. They say it's Daswand is kind of the 10% rule or the gauge that we kind of operate with, but it's entirely up to you. That if I'm earning today, and there are those who are suffering who are not earning, that we give that money to them. So you can walk into any gurdwara around the world and you'd be served a free meal, a free warm meal. And that concept began by the gurus to show that community building of donation. We speak about Man di seva, Man in terms of your meditation, connecting with God. That just as we have a lot of psychological issues in today's society with stress levels, anxiety, and so forth, that peacefulness, that state of bliss is lacking. Why is it lacking? Because we're always encompassed in everything that is around us, which we may look at as materialistic. So there's never a connection to a higher being, a higher self, the source of this universe, which becomes man di seva. And last is tan. Tan means physical. Physical service as in volunteering, giving your time, going to the soup kitchen, going to the gurdwara, preparing meals there. But it could also mean and is organ donation. And I think what's important, I mean, again, none of us, I believe, are here to preach of one faith to anyone, but to encourage those who are following a particular faith to understand what it is about their faith that makes it so important for us to donate and be an organ donor. Shaheed, the concept of martyr, is huge in Sikhism. The first time the Sikh faith picked up its arms was to fight against the Mughal emperor who was coming into India to forcefully convert people against their will. And that was the main reason they picked up arms. They fought against huge armies. A lot of them died and lost their lives because of that. And so the reason we wear the kirpan, as you know, there's a lot of debate about it in today's society, is a reminder of that it's service to others, that sword, that religious, piece of article that we carry with us is that permanent reminder to us that is service, that we are to unsheath it when we feel that somebody requires our assistance. And this, you can imagine, is beyond a society where we had armed forces or where we had policing. And so the concept of the faith itself was built upon that. That was the foundation. And organ donation, and I think Guru Nanak Pacha Ji, and when as Sikhs, we recite this every time we do Ardas. In the conclusion of our Ardas, we always say, Nanak Naam, Chaddi Kala, Tere Pane, Sarbat da Pala. That with Guru's name, we remain in high moral positive spirits. But then one thing that we truly request from this higher entity, this Guru, this Vaheguru, is Sarbat da Pala. It's requesting well wishes upon everyone, the entire universe, not just of one particular faith or sect or country. I always look at our American counterparts. They always try to end off with "God bless America," and Guru Nanak Pacha, he said, no, it's this we're talking about in 1604, that it truly is God bless everyone, regardless of the faith that you're in. And it's unfortunate that we live in a society where it's not an opt-out system when it comes to organ donation, it's an opt-in. So that leaves us with the struggle of looking for organs, for a young individual such as Fatima. And I'm, so proud to hear of her story, because I think that is what's important here. That truly recognizing the impact that your gift has. So organ donation in a Sikhi, in a Punjabi, in a universal sense, that this body is temporary, and that's one thing that we understand, and it is taught within the faith, that it is your soul that will go to continue its journey to meet God. And this body is temporary because it provides you the opportunity to meditate, to prepare your soul for that meeting one day. So if you can donate an organ to allow somebody else to continue on their path, their journey to reach God, to reach the divine, what more of a service can we do? So I think, so that truly is the essence. I think I don't need any more time, but thank you. And I truly encourage those, especially of the Sikh faith, that regardless, I think this transcends barriers or religion or anything else, that it's truly important that we have an open dialogue and conversation, because each one of us has had, whether it was a family member, a friend, or someone who has been impacted by this, and how important that moment is to truly have an organ donor who could have saved a life of someone that we knew or loved. So please, let's all be donors if we're not, and let's continue with this mission, as Professor G, Dr. G, and Fatma have mentioned. So thank you. Thank you.